piggybacking off of Jules and her tofu ricotta, we are gonna make cauliflower ricotta. So if you don't wanna use tofu, you can swap out and use cauliflower. So I'm gonna tell you all the ingredients. We're gonna use a little bit of lemon juice. I have my cashews soaking, you can kind of see them. A little bit of veggie broth. I won't use all of this. This is just what I had in the fridge. Garlic powder, salt. So I've already cut up the cauliflower. We're gonna roast that. Really easy way to remember how to roast is 425 at 25. Set your temp to 425, and almost always whatever vegetable it is, 25 minutes is enough. Obviously if you want them softer, do longer, and vice versa. So I am going to splash some of the vegetable broth on the cauliflower and then put it in the oven for about 25 minutes. And then I'm just gonna wait, and everything is gonna go in the Vitamix. If you are familiar with ricotta, it has a little bit of texture to it. It's not super smooth. So when we blend it up in the Vitamix, we're gonna leave some of it unblended so we have that texture. Here's the cauliflower all spread out on the pan before I put it in the oven. You can see it's just got a little bit of veggie broth on it just so that it doesn't dry out completely. I tossed a little bit of garlic powder on it. Okay, while the cauliflower is roasting, we're gonna add things to our Vitamix. If you don't have a Vitamix, that's fine. Really, any blender will do. You just might have to blend it for a little bit longer. I had a Ninja for a long time, and that worked really well. I was able to get the Vitamix on sale, so that's why I went ahead and got that. But whatever blender, that should work. So a couple things we're gonna add to this. We have our cashews that have been soaking, so we're gonna drain out the water from them. And I typically soak the cashews 30 minutes to an hour. Kind of depends on when I remember to start soaking them. And if you soak them in really hot water, you can actually soak them for less time. So if you forgot, that's fine. Speaking about the blenders, the Vitamix is a really high-powered blender, so you can get away with soaking them for a little bit less time. If you have maybe a less powerful blender, I would soak them a bit longer. So we are gonna add our cashews to the blender. I'm going to pick out the seeds of this lemon, and then I'm gonna squeeze about half a lemon into here. My veggie broth, I used about half of this for the roasting, and I'm gonna do a little bit more, probably about a quarter cup of that. And then my garlic powder. I'm just gonna sprinkle some in. We don't want it to be overwhelming, because that's not the true flavor of ricotta. And then a little bit of salt. And then I'm just gonna set this aside, and while my cauliflower is roasting, I'm gonna clean this up really quick. Another thing I know I mentioned on a video before is I jotted down what I was gonna do to make this. I did Google a couple recipes, and there's a variety of ways to do this. Some people use almonds or macadamia nuts. There's a variety. I only had cashews, so that's why I decided to use cashews. You definitely want to steam the cauliflower or roast the cauliflower so that it is soft, so it crumbles when you blend it. And then other than that, it kind of comes down to what you want it to taste like. So ultimately, I'm going to use this ricotta in a lasagna. So I like the flavor of garlic, so I thought I'm going to add some garlic powder to that as well as some salt. But you could mix that up and kind of change the flavor however you want. And really quickly, I like to taste things as I go. So the roasted cauliflower, perfectly soft. All right, I have blended up, and here is the ricotta. I'm gonna scoop that out and put it in a jar to store. So something really important is I did not use all of the cauliflower in the blender. I roasted the whole head of cauliflower, and I'll just use the rest for lunch or a snack or something. But you only need about a cup and a half of cauliflower in your blender to make the ricotta, because otherwise it'd be way too thick or whatever. But if you wanted to double everything and use the whole head, of course you could do that as well. So here is the jar. I'm gonna grab the lid, and then I'll stick this in the fridge, and then tomorrow night when I'm making lasagna, I'll be able to just scoop right from it and add it to the layers. But otherwise, there you go. This was 4 or 5 ingredient cauliflower ricotta, which pairs well with the lasagna that Jules is gonna make. Very good. I'm excited for this on the lasagna. Delicious.